First and 10 for Flower Mound. Hoffmeister's going to take the snap. He's going to look for room up the middle, and he is stacked up. He's driven back by a host of defensive linemen from the Cowboys, led by number 90, Solomon Thomas. Nowhere to go there. It's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Jaguars. They have the ball at their own 44-yard line. They're trailing 21-3 with just over 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. The quarterback, John Hoffmeister, getting the signs from the sideline. They're signaling the play. They're not huddling up tonight. Keep that Coppell defense off balance, keep them from substituting. Here's a pass to the left side. It is incomplete, but there's going to be a flag. The pass was intended for Colton Wilson on the left side, defended by Jacob Murray, and there's a flag out. It's going to be a first down for the Jaguars on a defensive pass interference penalty.
Yeah, flag came a little bit late, and Murray was kind of looking at the official like, are you kidding? He must have got him, had that hand just barely draped on there on the side of his sleeve. Right as he went up, because the flag came in late, and it looked like a good defensive play at first by Murray.
So we're waiting for the officials to mark off the penalty yardage. Meanwhile, it's 21-3 Coppell. They've scored on their 3 drives here in the first half. The possessions have been crisp. They've run the ball well. They've thrown the ball. Bonneau with a beautiful touchdown throw to Gavin McDaniel on a wheel route on the last possession of 34 yards, and the Cowboys in control. Flower Mound trying to get something going here towards the end of the second quarter, get a little momentum going before going into halftime. After kicking a field goal on their second possession, their third possession, they were driving, but they fumbled the ball on a snap. Michael Smith couldn't handle it, put it on the ground. Bo Anderson recovered, and the Cowboys marched down the field and scored. Here's Hoffmeister rolling to the far side, trying to cut up field. He's across the 45, down near the 43. Pickup of a couple. Look like Tostrud as well as Thomas are in on the stop for Coppell. It's going to bring up second down and about 8 yards to go.
One thing head coach Dane Johnson had said, Jason, before the game and last week was that sometimes Hoffmeister tries to do a little too much. At least he didn't that time. He tucked it under. He didn't try to run a risky play with a throw that was ill-advised or anything like that.
Now under 4 minutes to go here in the opening half. It's week 2 of district play as Coppell looking to win their second district game in a row. Here's a shotgun snap, and the swing pass goes to the fullback, and he's across the 40 down to the 43. That's going to be number 44, Ryan Daly. And Daly's going to give them, hey, that's a good spot. They're going to be set up with a third and short. Pretty manageable. Third about 2.5, 3 yards.
Good downhill running by Daly. It took 3 Coppell Cowboys to wrap him up over there inside the 40.
So they're at the Cowboy 38-yard line. 5 wide receivers in the formation for Flower Mound. They've spread Coppell out all night. Now Coppell, the linebackers in particular, communicating as Flower Mound sets up their play. Here's a shotgun snap. 1-step drop. Takes a step back. He throws it to Daly on the far side. He goes straight up the seam. He's going to have a first down. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. Tackled on the play by Jacob Murray. So a couple of throws to the running back, Daly, moves the chains for Flower Mound.
And that's right in the formula of head coach Dane Johnson and what he had in mind for his quarterback Hoffmeister to not do too much, just take the sure play like a little swing pass like that.
First and 10 at the Cowboys 30. 2.5 to go. It's Coppell 21, Flower Mound 3. The Cowboys offense has been dominant tonight. Here's a quarterback draw across the 30, straight up the gut, down to the 26-yard line. Give him a gain of 4. Stopped in the play by Thomas as well as Tostrud. So he's keeping those linebackers busy as Hoffmeister. He's a scrambling quarterback. He's a scrambling man. He's a dual threat. On the year thrown for over 900 yards, rushed for over 400. So he's an all-purpose threat at the quarterback spot for the Jaguars.
And fans listening to this later will understand this is an abbreviated broadcast, and at the Velocity Halftime Report, we'll try to get you caught up in as much of the plays and details that we missed.
Here's the snap, 3-step drop, moving up in the pocket, looking for someone to throw to. There's a flag down, and Hoffmeister is spun down by Solomon Thomas. And we'll see what the flag is. Most likely going to be a hold against Flower Mound.
Yeah, I think Matthew Johnston, the center, may be the guilty party there. The official threw the flag kind of right at his chest. So that's usually a good indicator if you get draped with a flag. that you were the guilty party. There were 2 or 3 linemen kind of standing together, though, and could have gotten any one of the linemen, but I think it is going to be a hold on the Jaguars.
The defensive line for Coppell has been really good tonight. You're talking about Solomon Thomas, of course. You're talking about Alex Wilhelm, in addition, John Rubin, Chris Biggers. These guys have put a lot of pressure up in the pocket, and obviously that's going to be an emphasis for them tonight because Hoffmeister likes to take off. So they want to, obviously keep them contained. You put pressure up the middle, force your linebackers to contain on the outside. They've done a pretty good job of it tonight.
Well, no hard and fast explanation, Jason, but the flag was apparently waved off.
Must have fallen out of the pocket. The old elusive flag with the grease on it. Here's a mishandled snap, and it looked for a moment as if Hoffmeister had recovered, but no, it's going to be Coppell football.
I think Elliot Tostra just pulled it right off of his gutter. John Rubin, one of those two, or Bo Anderson, excuse me, one of the linebackers just pulled it off the top of Hoffmeister's gut. Hoffmeister bobbled the snap, couldn't hang on. He fell down, thought he was trying to secure the loose ball, but didn't, and he was lying on his back, and it's kind of a free ball rolling around on Hoffmeister's body.
So for the second possession in a row, the Jaguars fumble the football on a snap as they are moving through Cowboy territory. So a couple of big mistakes, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Coppell at their own 33. Here's Bonneau, the quarterback, throwing a touchdown pass on the previous possession. He's back to throw, looks to his left. Now he's going to throw a screen, and drilled at the 30-yard line is Josh Fink, hit by a host of Jaguars. So he initially with that ball fake to the near side, coming back with a screen in the middle, and they had that read very effectively.
Eric Whitaker sniffed it out perfectly.
So they lose 2 on the first down play. Bonneau to throw. He's looking to the far side. He throws. The ball is caught by McDaniel, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Give him 12, and he's going to be close to the sticks.
Yeah, really close. The previous play, he got it indeed. They didn't even bring out the sticks. They just eyeballed it and said, good enough.
So Bonneau to McDaniel through the air. It's been a potent combination thus far tonight. A touchdown, a connection on the previous drive here, a first down. Here's Bonneau with a pump fake. He's going deep down the far side. He's looking for McDaniel, and it is incomplete. He almost had it. It looked like it was off his hands around the 20-yard line. A nice deep ball throw by Bonneau, but he couldn't connect there on the first down toss.
Yeah, beautiful ball thrown by Bonneau. McDaniel not able to get it in his grasp and hang on. And, it was raining a pretty good amount a while ago. It's still raining a little bit, but the ball is slick for both sides. Maybe a little bit there on McDaniel's fingertips, and certainly a while ago on the snap by Hoffmeister.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10, 42 seconds to go here in the half. Ball at the 43-yard line of Flower Mound. Here, Bonneau, he's going to take off under pressure across midfield into Jaguar territory, out of bounds at the 49-yard line on the far side. So initial heat put on him by that defensive line of Flower Mound. He takes off running. That's a strength of his, and he's going to make it 3rd and 2. So a substantial gain there on the scramble.
We don't see Coppell go up-tempo too much, but they're doing a really good job of adjusting to it here.
High formation. Wilson the fullback, West the deep back. Here's a toss pitch to the far side. Across the 50, it's a first down, 45, 43. West is tripped up by Clayton Johnson, but not before he gains a first down. And it's going to move the sticks, and you figure the Cowboys will take a timeout here to keep the clock fresh.
Yeah, indeed. And, a great job again on the pitch out there and running to the field side of the field and getting that first down. He knew he was going to get the first down, and then he had an easier time to get out of bounds, stop the clock on top of that. Inside 30 seconds now. They're going really up-tempo, and Coppell's not used to doing that because, A, they're usually ahead late in the game or in various parts of the game, and then, B, right before halftime is about the only chance they really get to do it. And they have done it against Rockwall. They did it last week against Hebron, and trying to do it here against the Flower Mound Jaguars on their 5th possession of the night.
Well, you look at what Coppell's done tonight, Barry. It's been pretty well balanced. They've made some big plays through the air and really put the Jaguars on notice that they're going to put the ball up there tonight. So it's a first down at the Flower Mound 41. The key here being the clock. 28 seconds left. Coppell leading 21-3, looking for more here at the end of the half. Bonneau, the quarterback. He's got twin wideouts to either side. West, the running back, to his left. Bonneau back to throw. Sets his feet. Now steps up in the pocket. Throws across the middle. It's going to be incomplete. His intended target was Troy Parker at the 35-yard line.
And probably just as well, Jason, that went incomplete because Mason McGuire was camped out right on top of him, and he wasn't going to get anywhere after that. We wanted to tell you first downs brought to you by First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW on the web at mrreuterdfw.com.
Second down and 10, 22 seconds left. 2 timeouts remaining for Coppell in the half. Here's Bonneau looking to throw. He's got some time. Still got time. Now he's reached for and grabbed by the face mask. He's going to let the ball go, and it is caught at the 28-yard line. That ball is complete to Obi Obialo, and there's going to be a flag because he was grabbed on the face mask by a defensive lineman who's being pushed out of the way, nevertheless reached out for Bonneau and got him by the face mask.
Yeah, you can see on that replay there, he just totally hooked him in the lower grill. And on top of the completion, that's going to tack on 15 more. Not only is it going to be an automatic first down, but it could get Coppell into field goal range if they need to go that route because there's only 12 seconds left in the half.
You really got to like the poise by Bonneau there, too. Staying with the play, moving his feet, shuffling out of the pocket to his right, and instead of tucking the ball and running with it, he fires a strike to Obialo, and they'll move the chains that way. So a very effective scramble, setting his feet, and a nice ball to the far side. And so this will turn out to be a real big play for the Cowboys. Trying to add more with 12 ticks to go here in the second quarter. 21-3. The Cowboys already out in front. Scoring update from around District 5, 5A. Flower Mound Marcus leads Louisville in the second quarter, 7-6.
The Battle of the Axe.
That's it. 1-point ball game deep in the second quarter. Hebron 10, Denton Ryan 3. That game in the second quarter.
Wow.
And now the official's going to blow their whistle. Are we going to get a timeout?
We
are going to get a timeout. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after this. Cowboys lead 21-3. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Stats ever created. Our easy-to-use iPad app turns anyone into a professional statistician, and all they have to do is simply follow the ball. Produce full and accurate box scores and play-by-play reports. Send accurate stats out to your fans, media, or recruiters. It's sports statistic collection redefined. StatGeek is available right now in the iPad App Store for just $4.99, and there are team fundraising opportunities available as well. On the web at statgeek.com. StatGeek, keep your eye on the ball.
So here's the situation for the Cowboys. They do have a first down at the Flower Mound 26-yard line. 12 seconds to go here in the half. They do have a timeout, and they possess a 21-3 lead. So here on this last drive, not huddling, using that hurry-up offense, moving down the field. Bonneau standing tall in the pocket. It's been an effective equation for him here late in the half. Here's Bonneau with West to his left. He flings it to him. It's behind the line of scrimmage. Now West is going to throw. He fires to the end zone for McDaniel, and it is a little too far. And West snaps his fingers in frustration. McDaniel looked like he had a step, but West just did overthrow him, looking for him here in the near end zone.
I tell you what, Jason, I don't know how often Coppell gets to work on that in practice. That was a greatly thrown ball by West there. You know, I immediately saw a double pass, and I think the Jaguars pretty soon afterward did too, but just that one just a yard too deep out of the end zone.
Second down and 10, 8 seconds to go. The Flower Mound coaches are talking to the official, and I'm going to guess, Barry, that they want to know why that play only took 2 seconds off the clock. The Jaguars are going to call a timeout here. There are 8 seconds remaining. It's second down at the Jaguar 26. But you could see Coach Johnson discussing something with the official. He was not happy, and I'm venturing to guess it had something to do with the clock.
Well, and the play before that was interesting, too, because 2 seconds ran off then, and the play was whistled dead. And I thought, the penalty, I thought, may have stopped the clock. I know the first down only temporarily did, but I thought maybe the penalty on the defense would have stopped it, too. But they didn't even run a play, and it went from 12 to 10, and it was whistled dead before they could get it underway. The rain here, it's still windy now, and temperatures in the low 60s as we started out about 62 degrees out here. But the rain has let up finally after a good downpour for 3 to 4 minutes late in the first quarter.
So 8 seconds to go here. If the Cowboys don't gain another yard, they're looking at a 43-yard field goal attempt by Centers. So well within his range. He has got a leg. Here's a shotgun snap for Bonneau. 4 receivers in the set. Here comes a defensive lineman jumping through there and knocking him down. Wow, what an athletic play that was as Daniel DeLorimier busts through that line and reached out for Bonneau and forced him to throw it away. And with 3 seconds left, they're going to have to attempt the Center's field goal. What a play by DeLorimier.
Yeah, DeLorimier is a really good player and a really good prospect, too, on this Jaguar team. And he had some help there, too. He had another teammate racing in to get draped all over Bonneau. Bonneau had to let it fly. And we're looking at a long field goal attempt. And the streamers, Jason, not really moving on top of the uprights.
So Deion Foster will hold on the far hash for Centers. This will be the final play of the half. It's a good hold. And here's the kick, and it is up. It's a low-line drive. It is good.
Wow.
Centers banks through the 43-yard field goal, and it's now the Cowboys 24 and the Jaguars 3 here at the half. So for Coppell, a very effective half offensively, ran the ball extremely well. Through the air, they were really effective in addition to that, and they've got a big 21-point lead here at the half.
They do. You know, they answered Flower Mound's 42-yard field goal, basically. Each team with, and you know, that's 42-yard at the high school level is nothing to sneeze at, especially in weather like this, Jason. I mean, that's kudos to both these kickers doing that tonight. But, Coppell, again, with a good-size halftime lead. A little tighter last week. You know, we talked last week that game had the makings of a 7-3 type game. I believe it was a little bit more like 17-10 or 17-7 at half. But, you know, it was seemed like much more low scoring. And Coppell has put together sustained drives tonight on the ground, big long runs, and through the air, like you said there a minute ago. Just really working both sides of the field and the deep ball, too. I mean, they've mixed in a little bit of everything with the pass.
Yeah, they look very well balanced tonight, no doubt about that. And Flower Mound just continues to struggle in the first half of games because opponents are really getting leads and forcing them to throw the ball in the second half, and that's exactly what is happening to them here tonight. So it's a festive atmosphere here tonight despite the damp weather. It's homecoming here at Coppell, and they're enjoying a 24-3 halftime lead. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll come back with the Velocity Sports Performance halftime show. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
And a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Since 1912, Liberty Mutual has been helping people live safer, more secure lives. For all your auto, home, life insurance needs, plus personal customer service right when you need it most, call Agent Josh Workman at 972-317-9630, extension 58782. Responsibility. What's your policy? Go Cowboys.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
At Frost, we could talk to you about our 24/7 online banking. Or we could talk to you about our more than 1,100 ATMs across Texas. We can even talk to you about our mobile banking app that lets you pay bills, transfer funds, and deposit checks from anywhere. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we enjoy more than to just talk to you.
Thank you for calling Frost. How may I help you?
We're here with the technology and convenience you want and the service you deserve. Frost. Banking, investments, insurance.
At J. Macklin's Grill, you'll perfect the art of unwinding in a space that's warm and welcoming, with food that's fun and satisfying. Whether you are inside enjoying the mellow ambiance or outside people watching from the patio, J. Macklin's Grill is sure to provide an unparalleled casual dining experience, which is why they were voted best in Coppell. Stop by J. Macklin's Grill after the game and listen to live music on the patio Friday and Saturday nights. J. Macklin's Grill, chef-inspired, reservations not required. On the web at jmacklinsgrill.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Velocity Sports Performance Halftime Show here at Buddy Eccles Field, along with Barry Probst. This is Jason Cannon. It's 24-3 Coppell over Flower Mound. And coming into the ball game tonight, the Cowboys tied atop District 5-5A with a 1-0 record, overall 4-1 on the year. Meanwhile, the Jaguars have struggled so far here in 2013, 1-5 on the year. They dropped their district opener to Louisville last week. They've lost 4 games in a row, and they're in trouble again tonight, down 21 to the Cowboys at the half. I want to remind you that the Coppell Cowboys are on Champion Sports Radio. This broadcast of the Coppell Independent School District is sponsored by Jason's Deli. They love fresh food and premium, more natural ingredients. Experience exciting flavors, true freshness, and real taste, so you know that you're getting nutrient-filled goodness for your money. Download the Jason's Deli iPhone or iPad app and skip the lines today. In addition, it's also being brought to you by Frost Bank. They deliver banking services consistently, Texas style, located at the corner of Denton Tap Road and Sandy Lake in Coppell. Well, Barry, let's talk a little bit about this first half. Well over 150 yards rushing for the Cowboys. McDaniel as well as West, the dual threat. Rice with the touchdown run of 1 yard. And when you get 3 thoroughbreds in the stable like that and you let them lose, it's for any defense to stop.
It really is. I mean, Flower Mound, like you said, may have been under duress in the first half in several of their games, being outscored by an overwhelming margin in quarter one, particularly, somewhat in quarter two through their other contest. But when you have guys that, like you said, are thoroughbreds, especially West and McDaniel, who really churn the yardage and keep drives going, that can frustrate a defense. And, you know, a few years ago, Cody Vanderford was Flower Mound's head coach, and he had a lot of high-scoring affairs, kind of Oregon or Baylor or something like that, you know, winning 63-42. And now Dane Johnson has come in, and he's trying to get a more balanced offense, but it's taken him some time to get his – not just get his players and get them, you know, used to this style of football and the strategies and schemes that they're running. And they got Mike Chavarini on their staff, I noticed. And back when I called Aledo eons ago, he was on their staff over there at Aledo. He's bounced around, and he was at Eastern Hills most recently as a head coach in the previous couple of years, in Buffalo head coach. And he's back on Flower Mound's staff where he spent 9 years. But he's got a good group on his staff, does Dane Johnson, and they'll get it winning if they give him some time and, you know, let these kids get to work in these schemes. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. It's going to take a couple of years, you would think, to really implement the schematic strategies that they would like to employ. It's interesting, though, we still see the spread no-huddle offense. We see John Hoffmeister, the quarterback, in a shotgun consistently looking over at the sideline for the play. So even though there's some adjustments, you still see that element of the spread and the no-huddle, even though it's not at a breakneck pace, maybe perhaps that being the lone exception to what was done previously. Pretty interesting stuff. I want to talk a little bit about this receiver of theirs who's pretty outstanding, Connor Wanhanen. This is pretty remarkable. Last year, an effective quarterback, and now just a heck of a target on the outside for this team.
Yeah, and credit the kid with a good attitude, because a lot of guys don't want to leave the quarterback position. They think they're the leader, and they think their leadership is being challenged or compromised if they give it up. And this kid willingly went on over there to wide receiver, and he is just flourishing very well at that position, and he's had a great game, almost game in and game out every game this season. He had a great one last week, and he's doing well again tonight. You know, when Paul Millard was here a few years ago with Flower Mound, he had a collection of good receivers. He had 3 or 4 really good guys he could go to. Hoffmeister seems like he is pretty much tethered to Connor Wanhanen as his, not just his go-to option, but is one of his only options right now.
Interesting stuff. Well, here at the half, 24-3, Coppell, and really the one thing slowing down Flower Mound offensively, the turnovers, and you just can't consistently, especially when you're an underdog, you can't consistently get into opponent's territory and then fumble the ball on shotgun snaps. They've done it twice.
That is a killer. I mean, Dane Johnson, the head coach of Flower Mound, had said he needs Hoffmeister to do a certain amount, but he was trying to do too much early on. The one play he wasn't really trying to do too much, Jason, but you got to be able to handle the snap. There's a fine line. There's one thing to run around, try to do too much and make a play. It's another thing to just grab the snap, no matter how wet the ball is or whatever the case may be, or how nervous you are on 3rd and long, and you have a good drive going. You got to be able to do something fundamental like that.
Yeah, you do wonder how slick the ball is with the rain earlier in the half, but at the same time, I mean, these Cowboy defenders, these guys are hunters, man. You can't put the ball on the ground. You're not going to get it back. Just won't.
I mean, they took it right off his stomach there. He was laying on his back on the turf, and I thought he had it secured, and no, it was a loose ball out there, and Coppell scooped it up. John and Rubin got on it, and Bo Anderson. The linebackers for Coppell have done a great job again tonight, gang tackling and pursuit and stringing out the play when Flower Mound does try to run it to the side.
So 24-3, Coppell with the lead here at the half. The Velocity Sports Performance halftime show. Barry's going to have some statistics for us when we come back in a few moments. It's a big lead for the Cowboys, up 21 here at the break. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org. Just like every parent, you want the best for your child. While you want your child to be healthy and to enjoy participating in sports, you may also have concerns about their abilities and possible injuries. This is where Velocity Sports Performance can help. Whether your child wants to be the star of the team or just wants a little more playing time, Velocity Sports Performance can help your young athletes reach their goals. Visit their Coppell location at 801 Hammond Street near Bethel Road and Freeport Parkway, or visit them online at velocitysp.com. Become a better athlete today at Velocity Sports Performance.
For some high school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114.
Are you studying on your own for the SAT or ACT? Follow My Test Answers on Twitter and Facebook for free solutions to official test questions. Got a question of your own? Send a message to My Test Answers and get a response for free. Got more than one question? Don't worry, we'll answer those too. With over a decade of experience in helping students prepare for standardized tests, the experts at My Test Answers will get you the answers you want whenever you need it. My Test Answers, problems solved.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We are at the half here at Buddy Eccles Field. Adams centers with a 43-yard field goal on the final play of the first half, and it's the Cowboys 24-3 over the Jaguars here on homecoming night. So it's a special celebration, and right now the fans enjoying a 21-point advantage for their Cowboys as the rain begins anew. It is a light rain, and it's being blown by the wind to the south, but it's not dampening the spirits of too many people right now who are enjoying the halftime performances by both bands. And with a 21-point lead, very reason to feel good as we throw it over to you for some statistical information.
Indeed, Jason, as a voluminous Flower Mound Jaguar band walks off the field. Good group, a good size band there. Now, one thing that is even, that kind of jumps off the page at you at halftime here, are the first downs. Coppell and Flower Mound both have 10 first downs apiece. Coppell with nearly a 100-yard edge in total yardage, 220 to 137. The Cowboys out in front there, and as you might guess, that attributed to this 21-point halftime lead. And you talked about on the ground, 176 yards on the ground, Jason, averaging 11 yards a carry to Flower Mound's 2.68 a carry. Flower Mound only with 19 carries for 51 yards on the ground. Dane Johnson may prefer they go to the air, but he'd sure like a lot more production from the running game than what they're getting now. Flower Mound has almost doubled up Coppell in the passing yardage department, 86 to 44. But, Jason, that's barely the case. Charles West almost had a touchdown pass to a receiver down there on a double pass, a halfback pass, that he aired out and barely missed his intended target. Now, one good thing John Hoffmeister does do is he completes his passes pretty efficiently at a pretty good clip. He's completing 73% of his passes tonight versus Coppell at about 43%. Flower Mound has had to punt once tonight, and Coppell none. And part of the reason for Flower Mound not punting or trying another field goal is they've turned it over around the 30-yard line in Cowboy territory on a couple of different drives that have just quashed really good drives. The one punt Flower Mound did have was for 51 yards. 2 fumbles, 2 times Hoffmeister put it on the ground, and they lost them both. And, that has really come back to bite the Jaguars in the the rump here, at least 10 points off turnovers. John Hoffmeister on the night, 7 of 10 passing for 79 yards. Connor Wanhanen did throw one out of a double pass for 7 yards, a 7-yard gain, and a first down. Skylar Bonneau, meanwhile, 3 of 6 for 44 yards and 1 touchdown. Neither quarterback has been intercepted tonight, and Charles West had the long incomplete pass late in the half that went awry. There was still about, that was funny too. There was about 30 seconds left in the half when he did that, and I think they ran 4, maybe 5 more plays after that, including the field goal attempt. Charles West just shy of 100 yards rushing on the night, averaging 12.4 per carry and a touchdown. He's got 8 carries for 99 yards. Gavin McDaniel, 3 carries for 39 yards. He's averaging 13 yards a pop. So you talked about your 2 big thoroughbreds, West and McDaniel, and those guys, when you're averaging 12-plus yards a pop for either guy, it's going to be a long night for the opposing team's defense, just plain and simple.
And you know what? We talk a lot about the running backs because their numbers are so gaudy, but you've really got to look at that offensive line. They've done such a terrific job this year. The road graders, Kevin Gray, Roger Moe on the left side, Margulis the center, Berenz and Weber on the right side. And, when you come into the game with your running backs averaging at the least 6 yards a pop for McDaniel, pretty amazing stuff, and it's continuing tonight. They've just gone up and down the field on this Jaguar defense.
Yeah, and even Skylar Bonneau, the quarterback, has tucked it under and run 3 times for 26 yards. So he's averaging over 8 a pop. And Brandon Rice, if you want to call him the 4th option in the rushing attack, 2 carries for 12 yards. One of those went for pay dirt. So they've all been productive, however little or many times they've carried it. And the receiving, one of the Coppell completions went for -2 yards. That's about the only thing that hasn't gone very well. And the other couple of passes went for 46 yards to Gavin McDaniel, one of those being a touchdown pass. So the Coppell has mixed it up, been very balanced, very productive through the air, on the ground. If land, if by air, they have done it to this Jaguar defense tonight. And meanwhile, Flower Mound rushing. John Hoffmeister, not too bad of stats. Running the ball, 13 for 45, under 3.5 a pop. You got to remember he got sacked a couple of times, and he lost the handle on it back there, which negated yardage for him. Ryan Daly, 1 carry for 5 yards. Michael Smith, 4 carries, only 4 yards on the night. And LaJohn Williams, 1 carry for minus yardage. Through the air, Connor Wanhanen, the leading receiver on the team, with 2 catches for 18 yards. Matt Picorni had 1 for 18. Brian Jenkins, 1 for 25. LaJohn Williams and Ryan Daly, a catch each for 10 yards. That's kind of been it tonight. That kind of quickly sums up the stats here. And, I don't see time of possession mapped out on this thing really, but that's been dominated by Coppell too. They've had it a lot longer than his Flower Mound.
Absolutely. And so the stats indicative of the big lead for the Cowboys. And as we continue on here at the Velocity Sports Performance Halftime Show, let's take a look at scores around the district. 5-5A. Continuing here on the halftime show, let's take a look in at Hebron and Denton Ryan. Denton Ryan actually fumbling the ball at the Hebron 7 just before the half, and the Hawks lead that game 10-3. So Denton Ryan driving in for the potential game-tying score, a big turnover there. We'll have to keep an eye on that score as it
definitely
further things yet to develop in that one. In addition, still a close one. Flower Mound Marcus 7-6 over Louisville. That game late in the second period.
Yeah, Marcus's MO, or may not be their MO, but it's de facto MO. What happens to them? They are involved in a lot of low-scoring games. They don't. Their offense. Well, Brian Irwin lost his son, ripped his ACL. First game or second game of the year again. 2 years in a row he's lost his quarterback to a torn ACL injury, and so once that happened, you're kind of scrambling with the backup. He's not as comfortable, not getting as many reps with the first team unit, so it takes a while to get his sea legs under him, and so Marcus just doesn't. And they don't have the horses at running back like they used to a few years ago. Not as prolific as they were about 3 years ago when they had 2 or 3 really good, strong backs. So Marcus will play those low-scoring games, and again, that's the kind of tussle they're in now.
Yeah, a lot of dogfights remaining here in District 5, 5A. Well, before we cut to commercial for just a moment, we want to remind you that Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio is sponsored by Anamia's. Find out why this Coppell Mexican restaurant and caterer is considered tops in the Dallas dining scene at anamias.com. And also by Floss Dental, a new experience in dentistry. Find out more at flossdental.com. And by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. So we're at the half. It is 24-3. Coppell with a 3-touchdown advantage, and they've looked excellent in the first half, and will look to continue to play efficiently and effectively with the football. Have not punted yet, and will continue to keep things going on the ground when we get set to start the third period. So we're going to take a timeout from Buddy Eccles Field. We'll be back with more right after this. You're listening to Cowboys Football on Champion Sports Radio.
For all your auto, home, life insurance needs, plus personal customer service right when you need it most, call Agent Josh Workman at 972-317-9630, extension 58782. Since 1912, we here at Liberty Mutual have been helping people live safer, more secure lives. Insurance from a company as responsible as you are. Go Cowboys!
You make plans for just about everything. The weekend, vacation, going out to dinner. But have you created a plan for the rest of your life? Start your financial strategy today with AXA Advisors. Call Thomas Lee at 972-455-9114. That's 972-455-9114. Securities offered through AXA Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA, SIPC. Looking for the perfect place to catch dinner before a Coppell home game? Then head over and check out the best mouth-watering, lip-smacking, finger-licking, great-tasting barbecue there is at Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Whether it's takeout, catering, or dining in, Dickey's Barbecue Pit will deliver some of the best barbecue you've ever had, and be sure to round up the whole family and stop by on Sundays when kids eat free. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is located at 801 South Denton Tap Road, just north of Beltline. Dickey's Barbecue Pit, slow smoked and served fast since 1941.
Did you know you could save on your auto insurance by switching to Liberty Mutual? Plus, you'll get 24/7 claims assistance, convenient payment options, and personal service right when you need it most. Contact Josh Workman, 972-317-9630, extension 58782 for a free, no-obligations quote. Go Cowboys!
Daddy? Daddy!
Yes, sweetheart?
What's a router?
It's a tool Daddy uses for plumbing emergencies.
Why?
People get clogged drains, and when that happens, you can't take a shower, you can't do the dishes, you can't do anything.
Mommy would like that. Hey, why do they call you Mr. Rooter?
Because I get to run the company.
Why?
Because Mommy says so. Now, I have to get back to work.
Someone has a plugged up drain.
For some high school seniors, achieving excellence goes beyond top grades, and AXA wants your help in recognizing them. Up to 12 DFW area students will receive a $2,000 AXA Achievement Community Scholarship, and one senior in Texas will receive a scholarship worth up to $25,000. Do you know a local high school senior who has excelled at a job, sport, community project, or other extracurricular activity? They may be eligible for an AXA Achievement Community Scholarship. For more details, contact Thomas Lee at AXA Advisors, 972-455-9114.
Two rushing touchdowns, one by Brandon Rice, another by Charles West, and a touchdown throw from Skylar Bonneau to Gavin McDaniel, followed by a 43-yard field goal by Adam Centers. Mix in a 42-yard field goal for Flower Mound, and there you have it. It's a 24-3 Cowboy lead here at the half. We're going to head over to Barry Probst. Barry, you've got some scores from around the Metroplex.
Thank you, Jason. We do. The Arlington schools in 3-5A in action. You've got Arlington Martin on top of North Crowley in a high-scoring baseball game, 10-8. That in the second quarter. Arlington doubling up Sam Houston, 20-10 in the third. Bowie on top of Arlington Lamar, 34-7 in the second quarter. So a big high-scoring, one-sided game there by the Bowie Volunteers. Meanwhile, in District 4-5A, Richland has a narrow 14-10 lead over Keller Timber Creek in the second quarter. South Lake Carroll all over Justin Northwest, 56-14, and it's not even halftime yet. Keller Central ahead of Keller Fossil Ridge 10-7 in the second. Jason gave you the 5-5A scores a moment ago. R.L. Turner in 6-5A taking on Grapevine tonight, and it is not going the Lions' way. Grapevine Mustangs are trampling all over R.L. Turner, 35-6 in the second. Irving Nimitz and MacArthur knotted at 7 in the third quarter. In District 7-5A, Mansfield Timberview is leading 7-0 in their contest tonight. In 7-5A. And, excuse me. And in other action in 7-5, Mansfield Timberview over South Grand Prairie 7-0 in the third. Mansfield ahead of Duncanville 14-7 in the second. DeSoto out in front of Midlothian 28-14 in the second. Cedar Hill blanking Grand Prairie at the Gopher Bowl tonight 37-0 in the second quarter. And 9-5A, Jesuit ahead of Lake Highlands big 35-14 at Wildcat Ram Stadium in the Boneyard. That's in the second quarter. WTY trails Richardson 34-7 in the second. Richardson Pierce ahead of Berkner. The Rams on the short end right now 10-6. That one at Eagle Mustang Stadium in Richardson. Skyline all over Sunset 51-0 in the third. Moving to 10-5A. Plano East ahead of McKinney 21-17 in the second. McKinney Boyd trails Plano 13-10 right before halftime. Allen putting it on Plano West tonight. That's the game that Thomas Lee and his group are doing this evening. 49-7, the Eagles on top in the second quarter play at John Clark Stadium. In 11-5A, Saxe, unbeaten on the season at 6-0, trails Garland 10-7 in the second quarter. Rowlett ahead of South Garland 14-3 in the third. At 12-5A, Rockwall leads Robert E. Lee out of Tyler 26 second. North Mesquite ahead of Mesquiters of Mesquite at Memorial Stadium 13-7 in the third. Longview ahead of Mesquite Horn. And in the midst of a track meet, it is 35-24 the Lobo Mesquite Horn in the second quarter of play. That comprising 12-5. Those are some of the scores we've got tonight, Jason, that around the area here.
Well, the score here, 24-3, as we get set for the second half. Coppell, they've been strong. They've looked really tough tonight as they look to move to 2-0 in district play. And the schedule shapes up pretty well for them the rest of the way here in district play. They're on the road next week at Marcus before returning home on November the 1st for a pretty big ball game against Denton Ryan. They'll hit the road again November the 8th. It'll be at Louisville, and then we'll see where they sit.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a brief timeout. We're going to get set for the second half. It's 24-3 Coppell, and we'll be back with more action from Buddy Eccles Field in just a moment. You're listening to Coppell Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
Estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're getting set for the second half. Groove a little bit as we bring you back in. 24-3 Coppell. This is interesting to me, Barry. If I'm looking down on the sideline, I'm seeing Connor Wanhanen warming up, and I'm not seeing John Hoffmeister, and I'm curious about that because there was a play earlier in the half where Hoffmeister came over to the sign and looked like he was at least holding perhaps his right arm. It looked fairly innocuous at the time and still could be just that, but certainly interesting that Wanhanen taking shotgun snaps here on the sideline, as well as Michael Smith. It's really the main bugaboo for the Jags here tonight, that snap. They can't slow down Coppell defensively, but in position to score at least a few points, but they gave it away because of a couple of fumbles.
Yeah, and that would be a big blow to the Jaguar team tonight to lose Hoffmeister, who's not doing a bad job. 7 of 10, you're doing something right there. And to have to lose Wanhanen from his receiver spot.
So Cameron Gamble's going to tee it up for Flower Mound to get the second half started. McDaniel and Troy Parker, they're backing up, and they're waiting at the goal line for the kick. Gamble's got a pretty good leg. And now the umpire is walking out. He's saying, please reset the game clock as it had expired before Flower Mound had a chance to put the ball in play. So here's Gamble, and we get set to start the second half. Cowboys up 21. Here's Gamble, puts the right foot into it, and it's a short kick. It takes a one-hop bounce, and it's collected at the 30, and going down at the 35-yard line is going to be Parker Wilson, the fullback, one of the up men there in the return game. He kind of puts his hands up over the sideline as to say, is that what you wanted me to do with it? Because that's what I did.
Yeah, not a bad strategy and school of thought by Flower Mound to try to catch him off guard here in the first half. They got Charlie Brown on that first kickoff attempt. I don't know if you saw it. Everybody ran up to the line, and the official blew it dead before they could get it underway. And like 8 guys were offsides all at once, and they had to go back and retry it.
The play clock needed to be reset. And here we go for Coppell. They'll have the first and 10 at their own 33. It's a tight formation. Twin receivers to the near side. Offset eye behind Bonneau. He sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to McDaniel on the far side. Around the left end, he's across the 40. Banged out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Hit by Brandon Baker, defensive back, who was able to come up from the secondary and knock McDaniel out of bounds, but not before the speedster gets a first down for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and as Brandon Welch comes out to the sideline for Flower Mound, he's coming off like he got hurt to give chase to McDaniel there. And
just a reminder that this first Coppell first down of the drive sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Reuter DFW, on the web at mrreuterdfw.com. Here's a handoff to Rice across the right side to Jaguar territory. Another first down brought to the turf at the 44-yard line. And what can you say, Barry? The Cowboys just continue to rack up yardage on the ground.
He had 11 yards on that particular carry, 23 for the night now. And, we've seen 2 carries, 2 first downs, and this Jaguar defense looks overwhelmed to start the second half early.
And they brought in a couple of tight ends here. Nick Johnston, 6'2", 220, along with Connor Williams, 6'4", 250. They're on the line of scrimmage. It's a tight-eye formation. Bonneau with a pitch, looking for room on the left side, down across the 40, skips to the inside and spins down at the 35, and he's tackled there by Chandler Clatterbaugh. But again, Rice with some room to operate, and it's another first down.
Yeah, and Seth Margolis just tracking his man all the way down on that play as Rice cut it back in over left tackle. Margolis was just kind of pushing his guy all the way down, just, riding him for about 10 yards worth.
First and 10 Cowboys. Twin receivers up top. May hand the tight end to the left side as well. Here's a handoff to the right side. It's West across the 30, angling toward the sideline, 25. He's upended at the 23 by Johnson. Another big gain, though, and you look at the blocks thrown on the right side of that line. That's going to be Brian Berenz as well as Bill Weber, just really creating an open lane for West to run through.
Tell you what, have they gotten less than 8 yards on a carry here in the early stages of the third quarter? We're not even a minute and a half in.
Offensively, they've been dominant. Got a first down at the 23 of the Jags. Again, multiple tight ends in tight in the formation. Single receiver up top. It's an eye. Handoff to Rice. looking for room on the left side, breaks the tackle up to the 20-yard line. Boy, it looked there for a second if Daniel Delorimier was going to drop him for a loss. Rice instead was able to battle across the line of scrimmage. He picked up a couple.
Delorimier had him wrapped up for about a 1-yard gain or maybe a 2-yard gain before he broke that tackle. And if you notice that time, Jason, Flower Mound did cheat up with 9 men in the box. Finally, I was wondering when they were going to do that because they were playing that 5-2 alignment, and they were just getting run over.
2nd and 7. Bonneau now in the shotgun. Running backs, to either side. And now there's some confusion as there's only 10 men on the field. They get an 11th. Here's the handoff to West, looking for room on the left side. He's got nowhere to go as he's driven back by a host of defenders. A couple of Jaguars in on the play. Clatterbaugh as well as the linebacker John Lee in on the stop as well. And that kind of looked like a mess from the get-go.
Well, yeah, and Jason, it's not an illegal substitution because they didn't break the huddle with 10 men and they only had 10 on the field. But I would have thought it would be illegal motion because that receiver was with a start.
It didn't look like he was set, did it?
Not at all. I mean, he ran about 5 yards worth up to the line of scrimmage, and then the ball was snapped.
So here's a 3rd and 9 play for the Cowboys at the Flower Mound 22.
And now we are going to get a legal substitution here, Jason, because they broke the huddle with 12. And we can't see the official aiming, but I did see him put his hand on his chest, home side.
That is indeed going to be the call, an illegal substitution, so that's going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to make it 3rd and 14.
And, kind of a makeup call. They were going to make sure they called something that time because they knew they let one go with the receiver running in motion.
So if you're Flower Mound here for a stop, you want to hold Coppell to at least a field goal attempt at worst. And meanwhile, if you're Coppell, you're looking to make a big play right here on 3rd and 14 at the 27. 3 receivers. Bonneau in the gun. West to his left. Here's the snap. It's low. He goes down to pick it up. He throws across the middle. It's complete to Mahan. Across the 20. Breaks the tackle to 15. Steps over another defender. He's tripped up. There's a late flag that comes in. He's close to first down territory at the 13. Not sure what the flag's going to be. It was thrown by the back judge.
Yeah, pending the flag, it's a first down. And Clayton Johnston almost did not make that tackle, which would have resulted in a Coppell touchdown for certain.
Looks like the call is going to be pass interference against the Cowboys. You wonder if it was a pick set when the ball was received or perhaps blocking downfield before he received it.
It looked like he may have signaled illegal use of hands. But because, and I think he did glance at it because, that came very late. The ball was 8 seconds after the completion, or 5 seconds anyway, after the completion?
Yep.
I think that's what they're going to get them for. And they're going to mark it, Jason, from the line to gain spot where they had, right in front of the line to gain, where they had gotten with the result of that play.
So it'll be 3rd and 11. You're right in the penalty signal with the one hand, not just the two, and now Coppell's going to call a timeout. So with 8:14 to go here in the third quarter, it's going to be 3rd and 11 for the Cowboys. Up 21, but looking for more. We're going to take a timeout. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Helping people live safer, more secure lives. For all your auto, home, life insurance needs, plus personal customer service right when you need it most, call Agent Josh Workman at 972-317-9630, extension 58782. Responsibility. What's your policy? Go Cowboys.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores, 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball, let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Back here now for this big 3rd down and 11 play with 8:14 to go here in the quarter. West is going to be the shotgun quarterback, flanked by running backs, 3 receivers in the formation. West, it's a low snap. He picks it up. He's going to keep it himself, fakes the handoff across the 20, and the play is blown dead. It's going to be a false start against the Cowboys.
A lot of flags here, Jason, in the last 3 or 4 plays. I mean, we had an error-free game, penalty-wise, for the most part, for the half, and then on this particular drive, the part of the drive, they've really gotten a lot of laundry out there on the field.
So a couple of mistakes here. Penalty-wise, it's going to set them back. It's going to be 3rd and 16. So here's Bonneau under center, I formation. Ball at the 29-yard line of Flower Mound. Defensively, Flower Mound's creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Here they go with a run blitz. Here's a pitch to the outside. It's West. Angling toward the far side across the 25, across the 20, inside the 15 before he's dragged down from behind at the 12-yard line. And you know what, Barry? I think he's got the first down on the sweep to the far side. Tackled on the play by Clatterbaugh. But I think they're going to move the sticks, and indeed they are. Wow.
Yeah, that is something else to keep getting those penalties and to overcome it. Eric Whitaker raising up and making that tackle. They're helping out on that tackle, I should say, but not before Charles West steps off another first down.
1st and 10 at the 13. Wilson the fullback, Rice the tailback. 2 tight ends in a formation. Bonneau with a snap, play action pass, rolling to the near side, still rolling, throws it to the end zone, incomplete, should have been caught. A little bit low throw, and McDaniel's momentum was taking him toward the sideline, but a pretty good throw there by Bonneau, and this close to converting it for a touchdown.
Yeah, if his momentum hadn't been taking him backwards so much on that, he could have probably come up and scooped his hands under it, but that was just a little tough to reel in and not boot off his feet like that one did.
But you see Bonneau really looking much better tonight, throwing the football. He's throwing on the run well. So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 13. 7:16 to go here in the third. 24-3 Coppell. Here's a pitch. West, straight up the gut. Hit initially and breaks through one tackle, but he cannot break the second tackle. He cannot elude the grasp of big number 72, Chris Miles.
And Bill Weber, 6'5", 290 senior lineman, got in on a block real late in there. The official ran toward him like he was really tempted to throw another flag. It was really close to a late hit. Coppell fortunate to not get hit with one there.
So that'll bring up another 3rd down, this time 3rd and 8 at the 11. Spread formation, Bonneau with a shotgun snap, rolling to his right. Now he's going to throw back to his left. The pass is complete to the 10, inside the 5-yard line, close to the goal line, and it's going to be close. The pass was complete to Williams, the tight end, and it's going to be a 1st and goal to go situation at the 1.5-yard line for the Cowboys. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you think they can get another first down without getting a touchdown, and they get that and then some, like another yard or so. So they've got 4 cracks at it, presumably, here from the 1+.
Here's a jumbo formation. They'll put all the beef in there at this point. Rice is a tailback in the I. Wilson the fullback. Flower Mound, all their defenders are around the line of scrimmage.
Actually, Solomon Thomas, the fullback, who got that. And I think he may have, he's short.
Good call. It looked like a 3-0 to 9-0 indeed.
Yeah, he came in, he's their big prize defensive end, and that's what he's being recruited at by colleges across the country. But they wanted to work him in there a la Refrigerator Perry from the Chicago Bear days of getting their big tackle in there to run. He almost scored. That ball's right on the goal line. Looks like it's breaking the plane as we speak.
Yeah, they take him out. I'm sure he's interested in remaining in for one more play. Throw it to Rock one more time. They've got Wilson back in as a fullback now. Rice the tailback. Jumbo package. Here's the handoff to Rice, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. So with 5:20 to play here in the third, the Cowboys extend their lead. It's now 30-3.
Pinballing off defenders that time. Lowered a shoulder and just banged off one and spun around and didn't even get him to the ground in the end zone.
And they just continue to run between the tackles tonight.
Yeah, run between the tackles, run to the wide side,
Look at everything.
Sometime to the short side.
Yeah. Every which way they got it going. Here's centers for the extra point out of the hold of Foster. Good snap, good hold. The kick is on its way. And centers punches it through. So With just over 5 minutes to go, it's 2-3, and Coppell has been dominating Flower Mound here tonight. Offensively, they have been terrific. On the ground, they have had a tremendous night, and they now lead by 28. We're going to take a timeout. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. If you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Lead 31-3, and Sinners with a high short kick. It's going to land at the 25-yard line. It's going to go out of bounds, and so Flower Mound will have good field position to start this drive late in the second half. And Barry, we've talked a lot about how effective the run game has been. It's essentially been a game of keep away. Flower Mound, this is going to be their first possession here of the second half, and you look at the clock and it's been salted away to a great degree.
Keep it away and cram it down the opponent's throat while you're at it. Now, one thing we haven't really talked about much tonight, because there haven't been minutes or anything, but is the wind. And the wind has really picked up, blowing probably 20 to 25 miles out of the north, I think. And then we are supposed to get another front coming through. And that ball was held up in the air and just bounced outside. Probably only went about 30 yards net.
Michael Smith is in the quarterback position for Flower Mound. He's going to keep the ball and look for room over the right side. He bangs his way forward. He's across the 30 down to about the 33-yard line. Very physical there. Anderson brought him down, as did Okacha, but not before he picks up about 5 to make it 2nd and 5. Smith remains in as the quarterback. Spread formation. Now he's going to look to the sideline to get the play. Smith is a big guy, sturdy, rushed the ball for 75 yards last week, so a guy they've worked in at this position. Coppell looks to blitz, now backs out of it. Now Smith's going to keep it on the near side. He's grabbed by the shoulders and rips away from one tackle, but then he is stopped in his tracks, dropped by a host of defenders. Bigger's got him, number 7, the defensive tackle. And so that'll bring up 3rd down and about, we'll call it a long 4.
And I'll tell you what, Jason, Flower Mound made it really easy on Coppell with that play running to the short side, and all the receivers dragged in the pattern right together. I mean, Coppell didn't have to do too much to defend it.
So here's Smith in the shotgun again. He's got LeJon Williams to his left. Twin receivers up top, single receiver to the bottom. And another fumbled snap. And falling on it is Smith, but that is the 3rd one tonight, and it's going to kill the drive on 3rd down. It's going to bring up 4th, and wow, that is disappointing for the Jaguars.
Yeah, that is really frustrating. That was actually, Michael Smith, the tailback, having to get on that, but, in the Wildcat or whatever they're running, 3 botched snaps out of the shotgun tonight. It's just really stymied, self-inflicted. Stymied this team, and it's all been self-inflicted.
So Troy Parker back deep to receive the punt. Here's the kick. It's end over end. Kyle Edmiston got into it. Here's Parker at the 28-yard line. Starts in the far hash. Angles to the middle of the field. Gets across the 35 up to the 37 before he's twisted down by a host of defenders. Making the special teams tackle Ryan Daly, the running back, 44 in on the play, leading the way. And that'll give Coppell, again, the ball so amazing. We look at the time of possession. in these first drives of the third quarter. And while Coppell's going to be happy with the results, Flower Mound's going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and Colin Okachka providing more than just token pressure on that punt. The punter opted to go rugby style, and Okachka was banking and hedging on that he was going to run to his right, and he did, and he almost blocked it.
Miles Pascal is in at quarterback. He takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball to McDaniel on the left end across the 40, 45, 50, and he's got room to roll, and he is knocked out of bounds inside Flower Mound territory at the 43-yard line. So different quarterback, same old, handing the ball off to one of these running backs for a big gain on first down. Miles Pascal, 6'2", 175-pounder, a sophomore. And he's going to see some action here late in the third period with the Cowboys up 31-3.
And running to the short side of the field, and same result there, Jason.
I formation for Pascal. The deep back is Rice. He hands it to him. Push ahead as the offensive line moves that. Still on his feet inside the 40-yard line goes Rice down to the 38. A strong run there. And again, you just really see that push forward against that defensive line. And the O-line, Margulis and Behrens on that play really making their presence felt.
Yeah, and Stone Orman, don't forget about him. He runs 6'2" and 3 bills, and he's just helping pile drive that group backwards 3 to 4 yards after the handoff there.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 3. Rice with a 7-yard pickup. Again, a tight formation. And Obialo, the receiver to the near side. Here's the pitch, and it goes to Rice across the 35. The jump back inside. He's tripped up, caught in the air, and spilled there on the play. It looked like Brandon Baker got him. But another first down on the ground for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Baker went low, and Rice tried to hurdle him, and Baker just did catch the shoelaces there to trip him up.
Now Charles West is coming back into the game, and he's going to be in there with that backup quarterback. So Pascal, he's still got the first teamers around him.
And Jason, an interesting observation here that Coppell hasn't really had many second downs. Every time they carry it, they get a first down. The last two possessions.
Play clock down to 3, 2, and Pascal gets it off. He's going to pitch it to West on the far side, looking to angle across the 30. He's met at the 25-yard line and thrown down. Nice play there defensively. Aaron Nassis with the play, 66, the defensive lineman.
And right as I say that, they get stopped for the shortest gain in probably the last 18 plays. A 2-yard gain there. Good job of gang tackling by Flower Mound, and the Jaguars stringing it out and prohibiting the Coppell running back from getting more than 5 to 8 yards.
Coming up on 1 minute to play. 2nd and 7 from the Jaguar 22-yard line. Pascal with the snap. He's going to hand it to McDaniel straight ahead, 20, 15. Lowers his shoulder and bowls his way to the 12. And it's going to be another first down. And the chains move again. There was a helmet that came off the head of one of the Flower Mound defensive players. Fortunately, it was helmet only, no head inside. And the Jaguars are going to substitute as we're now in here in the third.
Evanston Heights next to the Jaguar roster, the guys there, but Chandler Clatterbaugh and Blake Winters both were the target of Gavin McDaniel, who runs 170.
Here's a pitch for Rice. He makes a nice move back to the inside to elude one tackler, and now he rolls over another, and he reaches out for the end zone goal line, and he's in. It's a touchdown. He had to reach over Baker, who had a hold of his waist, and he reached that ball out. It was over the goal line, and it's another touchdown on the ground for Coppell.
And if guys are wearing caps on the other side, they're coming off. That's a hat trick for Brandon Rice tonight. His third TD of the night.
So with 23 seconds to play here in the third quarter, Centers is going to try to make it a 35-point ball game, and this has been quite a night for the Cowboy run game. Brandon Rice, again, second straight week where he has been really effective on the ground. The extra point is good, and with 23 seconds to go here in the third, it's 38-3 Coppell. We're going to take a brief timeout. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when they're taking a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Buddy Eccles Field. It's 38-3 Coppell. 23 seconds remain here in the third quarter. It's been 3-touchdown night ground for Brandon Rice, and the Coppell run game has just been dominant here this evening. It's a rainy homecoming night. Here's the kickoff, and it's going to be absolutely killed by the wind at the 12-yard line, taken by...
That's Matt Picorni.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they put somebody different back there. Picorni takes it, and it was funny to watch Picorni on that play. He was set, thought the ball was coming right to him, and then the wind absolutely knocked that thing down. He had to sprint up 3 or 4 yards to corral it and get going.
Yeah, he looked like an outfielder who misjudges a fly ball to the outfield and then has to, I better get going the other way. And has to run up on it and make the grab, and that's what he did there, and almost tripped and fell.
If you look at the wind, or if you look at the flags on the far side of the field now, the wind is whipping from the north to the south. And here is Connor Wanhanen. Wanhanen playing quarterback. Wanhanen with a snap. He throws to the far side. It's caught across the 10 to the 15. It's Williams across the 20, cuts back inside of the hash mark. He's spilled, and there's a flag that comes in late.
You would think that's on Coppell. Maybe a face mask or someone speared, but, Coppell's clapping, so I guess it's going to be against Flower Mound. But usually that type of flag is thrown when it's on a defense making an illegal contact hit.
The officials communicating here, and they will back Flower Mound up. Another penalty against them. This one's going to be an illegal block in the back.
And Jake, with that last touchdown carry, Brandon Rice now with 71 yards on the night on 9 carries, almost 8 yards a pop.
His best performance of the year.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Wanhanen, short drop, back to throw, and it's to the far side, incomplete. His intended target, Picorni, had to go to the ground. Going to bring up 2nd down. 1 second remaining here in the half. Wanhanen again, barking out the signals. Now we'll stop and look over to the sideline. Hoffmeister started the game at quarterback, but has been replaced. And this could be an injury issue more than anything. In the first half, he was holding the right hand gingerly. Not sure if something happened there. Here's a ball that's thrown on the near side to the seam, and it is complete. And it's going to be a big play up near the 40-yard line. That's Aaron Epping, who was working that seam route, and he does so effectively. And so the penalty, although it stalled the drive on the first down play, they were off schedule. It's a big play here to convert and make it 1st down for Flower Mound as the quarter comes to a close. So 3rd quarter in the books, 4th quarter upcoming. It's the Cowboys 38 and Flower Mound 3. You're listening to Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Do today what you can put off until tomorrow, right? Now, that's not exactly the saying, but it seems like people would rather do anything other than doing something about their finances. That's why there's AXA Advisors. We work one-on-one with you to create a financial strategy for the things you need tomorrow. Start your financial strategy today with AXA Advisors. Call Thomas Lee at 972-455-9114. That's 972-455-9114. Securities offered through AXA Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA SIPC.
Welcome back, everybody. 38-3 as we get set to start the 4th quarter. Flower Mound with a first down at their own 39-yard line. Scoring update. Hebron now with a 17-9 lead over Denton Ryan. Ryan undefeated coming into play tonight. Wanhanen sends the receiver in motion. He's going to hand it to Williams, coming to the right side. Spun around at the 40-yard line, and he is hit by several Cowboys, wrapped up by Harubin, and he dropped him quick.
Jason, pretty good play, except Wanhanen took a little too long to hand that ball off. It was a little bit telegraphed. If he fakes that and takes it, or if he gets it handed off sooner, that probably breaks for more yardage.
2nd down and 9. They've got the ball at their own 40. The wind continuing to whip around here at Buddy Eccles Field. It is chilly, and they said it was going to cool off as the night progressed, and I'm sure the temperature has plummeted. Here's a low snap. Wanhanen reaches down and to his left and picks it up. He's going to throw this ball complete to the far seam. Pass is caught by Logan Davis.
Impressed with Wanhanen, Jason. He got a good quick release and a really strong arm. You know, even though they have to give him up as a wide receiver, he can really throw that ball. He can swing it out quickly out on the flat and give guys running room downhill with momentum, and then just fire it over the middle low where only the receiver could get it on that play.
Yep. Wanhanen out of the gun, sends a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff, keep it himself. And he lowers his shoulder, and he gets to the 50. It's going to be a first down. And so he's got some wheels, too. Really an incredible performance by him last year at the quarterback spot. When you consider that this year he's now playing wide receiver back to quarterback. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and that kind of play is what I said would have worked better if he'd done it over here on the other hash a moment ago.
They've got wider splits, and he's in the gun. Here's a pass down the far sideline, and it is going to be broken up. Nice play by Murray. The target intended was Davis again, but Murray was right there to break it up. It looked for a moment like he had a window, did Wanhanen, but it closed quickly, and the ball was knocked away.
Chris Atkins over there providing a receiver sandwich, too. The other piece of the bread on that is they both popped him from either side.
2nd down and 10 at midfield. 5 receivers in the formation, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Cowboys dime package is in there, and it looks like they're blitzing. Wanhanen flush to his right, and he eludes the grasp of Harubin, and he's up across the 45 and spilled at the 44-yard line. So he was nearly caught for a sack, but he's got some size too. Harubin almost had him from that left defensive end position. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and manageable for the Jags.
And Jason, athlete, you can just sit there and watch him for 2 or 3 plays and quickly come to that conclusion because most guys get knocked down there to the turf, and he kept his balance and fought off the tackle.
Harubin's a big boy, 6'4", 225. Right. And he got away from him.
Harubin will bring most guys down.
Here's 3rd and 4. Play action pass to the far side. He hits his man in the seam. It looks like Michael Smith. It's going to be a first down to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 12 on the play. And again, you're seeing Wanhanen move the chains.
Dane Johnson, like the scientist that cloned Dolly, to come into his locker room and clone Connor Wanhanen. Have him as receiver and a quarterback.
Throw to himself.
Right.
And blow everyone's minds simultaneously. Now we have a whistle. Looks like one of the officials is pointing at himself. He's requesting time.
Yeah, not really sure why. That's what he did. He did request an official timeout, but now they're going to restart the clock. Peculiar. They're stopping it again.
And now some of the Cowboys actually looking around as if to figure out what is going on as Flower Mound with the ball placed, ready to snap it and execute the play. And twice in a row now we've seen the officials blow the play dead. They're going to reset the play clock here. 8:55 to go here in the ballgame. 38-3 Coppell. Wanhanen hands the ball to Daly. Across the 30, picks up about 3 before he's stopped by Biggers. So Daly, another guy they're trying to work in there, but Coppell, again, their defensive front has been so strong tonight. They've really done a remarkable job of limiting the Jaguars' run game. 2nd down and 7 at the Coppell 29. The Cowboys looking at their far sideline to get the signal defensively. Bresnahan up to the line of scrimmage, left outside linebacker spot. Wanhanen in the gun. He grabs the snap, play action pass, throws to the near side. The ball is caught and then hit immediately at the 30-yard line. Branson Roberts hit immediately there. And
Nick Ruby
got him from the safety spot.
Great job of Nick Ruby, too, of sniffing that out and seeing Wanhanen roll out to his right and only have the one safety valve. And Ruby knew where it was going and all over him like a cheap suit on that play.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 7. You figure it's 2-down territory. There's no reason for Flower Mound to kick field goals down 35 with 7.5 to go. 5 wide receivers. And would you believe it? Another drop snap. And he's going to be sacked, dropped for a loss. It was Bresnahan. He looked like a Tito with a target. He was all over him, saw that drop football, and Bresnahan drops him for the sack.
And, Connor Wanhanen took a step or two with that before it came out. I don't know if it's just a plagued lack of concentration on the part of all these quarterbacks or what it is that's causing that.
So that'll bring up 4th and 10. I'm not sure.
But it's sure happening amongst 3 or 4 of them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's plagued them. They were fortunate to get that one back.
Dane Johnson's just got to be shaking his head in disbelief at this.
4 receivers in the set. Wanhanen a high snap. He's got it. Pressured, scrambles, and then brought down from behind. And that's a really nice job by Wilhelm to stick with the play, grab him by the ankle, and drop him on the play. Gain maybe 1, and the ball's going to be turned over on downs to the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that was, for Flower Mound's sake, that was a little discouraging because they had a promising drive going on, and Wanhanen moved him down the field pretty well. But then just the bugaboo of mishandling snaps out of the shotgun, something that's so basic that they do correctly 30 to 40 times in a game, and then 3 to 4 times they don't, and almost every time it has cost them, either in terms of a direct fumble and turnover, or it's just killed a play and subsequently a drive.
Twice in the first half, Flower Mound drove into Coppell territory and lost the ball on a pair of fumbled shotgun snaps. So here is Pascal, and he's walking toward the sideline as they're missing a guy. And here he comes running onto the field as now the Cowboys are going to get set playing the play clock. They've got the ball with 6:42 to go here in the game. Up 38-3. Pascal in the shot. He's going to hand the ball to Rice, and here's Rice looking for room on the far side. Eludes one tackler across the 35 to the 40 and bumped out of bounds near midfield. And another nice run for Rice. He's got to be getting close to 100 yards on the ground tonight.
Yeah, he managed to get 10 to 11 on that alone before I stopped him, and it didn't look like he was going to get but maybe 4 or 5.
What a luxury. 5'11", 190 pounds, a sophomore. So quite a load himself. And more action the last couple of weeks and taking advantage of it. Foster, the receiver up top. To the near side, it's Austin Moore. The handoff goes straight ahead to Rice. Big hole. Oh, he shook one tackler. Now he's moving to the near side of the 40, inside the 40, down to the 36. And Brandon Rice, a little shoulder shake to elude the defender. And it's another big run and a first down into Flower Mound territory. Well, if he wasn't over 100 yards before, he's over it now.
Yeah, he's got to be right at it about now, I would think. He was 10 for 82 just a few plays ago, and that was before his 11-yard run, so he's got to be near 105, 106 yards by now. And West tonight, 130 on the night, averaging 10 a pop.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys at the Jaguars' 33-yard line. Handoff straight ahead again to Rice for room over right guard. There's a big hole there, and he's through it to the 25, close to the 20-yard line. Another first down, 3 consecutive first down runs. And credit that offensive line. They have been outstanding tonight. The first downs on this drive Sponsored tonight by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Rooter DFW, on the web at mrrooterdfw.com.
Yeah, and then some guys like Jackson Goodspeed and Alex Gunnell, who don't get in the game too much, or their second teamers are in there now helping provide some of those holes, fresh offensive linemen.
Here's another handoff to Rice, looking for room on the left side, and he is shut down. There's no room to roll this time, as plugging the hole up from the linebacker spot, Aaron Epping.
Credit Flower Mound for not quitting. They're down 5 touchdowns and could give it up, but still managing to bring it each down here, and then did so better on that particular down, holding them to a loss of yardage.
Right, second and 11, 5 minutes to play, ball at the 22-yard line. Here's a handoff to Wilson straight ahead. He's going to pick up a couple. So the fullback getting in on the carries as he picks up a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and long. And when you look at, we talked about it a little bit earlier, the schedule. So as Coppell is going to move to 2-0 in district play, and next week they'll take on Marcus. You know, it's amazing, Barry, after just a couple of district games, the race shapes up quickly, and you're steaming to the end of the campaign pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of things working for them at this point in the year. And you know what? When you look at the Allen game, the one game they dropped, it was really only one bad quarter. They played them fairly close the other 3 quarters. So really an interesting team right now. Here's Pascal. He's going to play fake, throw to the far side. It's caught by Wilson inside the 15. It's going to be a first down for Coppell on a 3rd and 7 throw. Pascal with a nice ball fake, and he hits Wilson. Reception by the fullback. Again, the first down. The Coppell first down on the drive, sponsored by Plumbing's First Responders, Mr. Rooter DFW, on the web at mrrooterdfw.com.
Well, we'd seen a lot of runs on this drive, Jason. Not too many passes until that one, but they're working Wilson between the tackles with a carry and then getting him the ball out in space on a little swing pass.
Here is James McCrae into the ball game at tailback. Obialo in motion to the near side. Pascal with a pitch. Here's McCrae looking for room up the middle. Follows Wilson, a lead blocker. He's being pulled down from behind. He's downed at the 3, being tugged to the turf by Alex Feldman. And it'll be 2nd and goal, this time from the 3 for the Cowboys, leading 38-3 with under 3.5 to play here in the ball game.
You hope for the Jaguars' sake that, you know, as they go on, the season progresses, they can stop having these little botch snaps that are costing them so they could get their offense untracked and get in a groove and a rhythm.
Cray once again at tailback. 2nd and goal at the 3. Here's the handoff.
Yeah.
It's to Wilson. He bounces off one defender. He spins and...
The right guard flinched before that got underway. In fact, I think maybe the left guard did too. I thought I saw 2 rumps lift up, you know, like horses in the stable. But
so we're going to back him up 5 and do it again.
Yeah, but these are right here are the consequences for these botched snaps. You know, they turn the ball over and then the team has not too long a field with which to work, drives it down, especially a team like Coppell, who's really got a strong smash-mouth running game, and then before you know it, they're knocking at your goal line.
Multiple tight end set for Coppell at the 8. Handoff, McCrae straight ahead, side the 5, bounces off another defender. He's got those feet churning. He's close to the goal line, and is he in?
They have not signaled it yet. I thought he got in.
He's going to be inside the 1. The official on the far side signaling 3rd down. So McCrae picked up 7 3/4, but couldn't quite get it in.
Great job of Jackson Goodspeed, the left guard, pulling on that play and blocking his man over there on the other side all the way to the goal line. And I thought Jackson had done just enough to help power the running back in, but just short.
Here is 3rd and goal, and now it's going to be a sneak. And in is Pascal for the touchdown. So with under 2 minutes to go, it's a sneak. And Pascal extends the Cowboys' lead. They now lead 44-3.
And with that, Jason, you've got 4 different guys on the night who've scored a touchdown. And 5 with Bonneau, I guess, if you credit him a passing touchdown. But four different guys before that had scored.
It's been a well-rounded effort. And here's the extra point, and it is good. So with 1:54 to play, it's Coppell 45, Flower Mound 3. You're listening to Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
On all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Hey there, welcome back, everybody. 45-3, the Cowboys putting the exclamation point on this one. A 1-yard touchdown run. Miles Pascal scored it. And we'll recap this as well as other scores from around the Metroplex coming up on the J Deli postgame show, which will be occurring in 1 minute and 54 seconds of game time. So a happy homecoming celebration here tonight. The Cowboys rolling here this evening.
Weather probably kept some of the fans away, as it's not as crowded tonight as it has been the last several games here, but the ones that are here are loving what they're seeing.
Here is Adam Centers, and he smashes this kickoff out of the back of the end zone. So a nice end to his evening that included a 43-yard field goal and a couple of touchbacks. And the Cowboys defense going to get an opportunity to get out on the field one more time.
And Jason, how much would you guess Coppell has on the ground tonight?
I'm going, it's got to be close to 4 at this point. I'm going 385, Barry.
You're not too far off. 364 on 40 carries.
Oh, man.
442 on the night total.
Problem is I went over, so I can't win the showcase. You got to be under. Here's a handoff straight up the middle to Daly. He hits one defender, bounces off of him, and he's up to the 30. Pickup of 5. And it's going to be second down. So it looks like Flower Mound just content to run out the clock here. You know, the second year under headman Dane Johnson, they're working to fit in some new schemes. And, you know, they're just going to continue to work and grind to improve and get better. It'll be interesting to see what happens as they move along. Patrick Saul here with the carry. Pickup of maybe 1 as we approach 1 minute remaining in the game with the Cowboys leading 45-3.
And we did not see John Hoffmeister at all in the second half after he came off kind of holding the other two quarterbacks were warming up. And we also did not see Tim Millard, who's a senior, younger brother of Paul Millard, who was really prolific a few years ago for this Flower Mound Jaguar team and was the starting quarterback for West Virginia early in. And West Virginia with 3 quarterbacks tomorrow, which will be probably today by the time this gets on air, streamed. They will be taking on Texas Tech, another team, 3 quarterbacks. And, Jason, both those teams have played all their quarterbacks so far this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it?
Here's a handoff up the middle again to Saul. He's going to pick up a couple. He'll be short of the first down. So the old adage, Barry, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. What happens when you have 3?
You have none plus 1?
Do you have? Does that make you an animal and just unbeatable?
I don't know. And Flower Mound has played 3 quarterbacks tonight in Michael Smith, Hoffmeister, and Juan Hannon.
Well, the clock is salting away. We're under 30 seconds to go in this one. It's a 4th down, and it looks like Flower Mound's going to run one more play, trailing 45-3. It was a nice win for the Cowboys here in this one. They were in control from the start. Here's the handoff straight ahead and dropped on the final play of the game. It looked like making the tackle there, 27, Mark Teffeteller, and that's going to do it as time expires. Here at Buddy Eccles Field, it was Coppell big over Flower Mound, 45-3. A dominant performance on the ground, terrific defensive work as well. A couple of turnovers forced on long Jaguar drives, and in the end, it all adds up to an impressive Cowboy win as they move to 5-1 on the season, 2-0 in District 5 5A play. Well, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back to wrap it up on the Jason's Deli postgame show. You're listening to Coppell Cowboy Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Daddy!
Yes, sweetheart.
What's a router?
It's a tool Daddy uses for plumbing emergencies.
Why?
People get clogged drains, and when that happens, you can't take a shower, you can't do the dishes, you can't do any...
Mommy would like that. Hey, why do they call you Mr. Rooter?
Because I get to run the company.
Why?
Because Mommy says so. Now, I have to get back to work.
Someone has a plugged up drain.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management. The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care and know what favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Buddy Eccles Field. Once again, your final score, Coppell 45, Flower Mound 3. It was a dominant performance from beginning to end. It was the ground game. It was terrific work by the defense. It was a couple of turnovers, mistakes made by the Jaguars in a game where they could ill afford to shoot themselves in the foot. They do on multiple occasions, and in the end, everything adds up to a Cowboy romp, a big 42-point win. Here tonight as they move to 5-1 on the season and 2-0 in district play. And Barry Propes, we saw a lot of great stuff from Coppell tonight. Nothing perhaps as impressive, though, the work of the front offensive line opening up holes for 3 running backs here tonight, Rice, McDaniel, and Charles West.
Yeah, you can argue that in addition to Brandon Rice, the whole offensive line was living in the limelight tonight. You know, opening up those holes, getting the paths paved for those 3 guys. And, West over 100, Rice over 100, McDaniel only 6 carries but nearly 80 yards. I mean, the 3 of them did the lion's share of the damage against the Jaguar defense. Those 5 guys, and even the backups there, Jay, as we saw Jackson Goodspeed and Alec Cannell get in there, continue to plow through the Jaguar front 4. They just made it real easy for these guys to step off big carries all night long. And seldom did Coppell have a second or third down, let alone second and short, third and short. I mean, they were getting first downs on first down with routine regularity.
I mean, they physically dominated the matchup. There's no question about it that at the point of attack, they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and really just a dominant win. And at this point, you really start to see things pick up. They had a tough, hard-fought win over the Hawks last week, a dominant performance tonight. And as this team continues to move along this season, they get better each week. And they did have the one hiccup against Allen. Again, you could look at the first quarter of that game, in which they were down 17-0, and the rest of the way that was a 14-10 game. But perhaps a learning experience there in the middle of the year. And then when district play begins, you turn that switch, you start the season anew, and they've really responded.
Plano West is not an awful team, and Allen had them down 49-7 in the second quarter tonight. So Allen can make a good team look not very good and make an okay to average team look really bad.
Yep.
And never mind what they do to a bad team, how they make them look. And this Flower Mound roster that we were handed, Jason, it's kind of interesting to me. It's got classification, heights and weights, particularly no weights. And looking at them tonight, and it's probably something that Dane Johnson and his staff hasn't gotten to fully implement yet, but you kind of get the feeling that they're not a real strong group yet physically. They're keep trying to get the weightlifting regimen going on and the powerlifting regimen going on to strengthen their team up. And you think maybe they're not very heavy across the front. Well, we don't know that for sure, but the way Coppell pushed it certainly did kind of look to be the case.
Yeah. And it's going to take them a couple of years to really implement the ideal version of what they wanted. They're switching systems, and we talked about that throughout the game and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, this is one of those games where you want to see Coppell do what they're, in a perfect world, ideal supposed to do, and that's not just play well but dominate. That's what they did, a sign of a mature team.
Yeah, and Flower Mound's identity, I think they have one, and I think it is whoever is the quarterback, and I think they're all pretty decent, is your options are tuck it under and run if the pocket collapses, or look for the guy in the out pattern, pretty much, maybe some underneath. They didn't do as much underneath except until Juan Hanen took over, and that really kind of surprised me looking back that they didn't try to do that more, because that seemed to work for them, and that's not too risky a play, and they were really under duress. The front four for Coppell really stonewalled them if they tried to do conventional running, so you'd think they might just kind of lob it over the top a little bit.
Yeah, you're right about that. It was really interesting to see how initially they came out to attack through the air, and Coppell is just so tough. They're physical, they're fast, they've got ball hawks in the secondary. They've just got playmakers everywhere, and when you're Flower Mound and you shoot yourself in the foot with a couple of bad turnovers, it adds up to a bad ending. There's no question about that. So as we continue here on the Jason's Deli postgame show, we'll take a brief timeout. We'll come back with some scores from around the Metroplex. There was a really interesting ball game going on between Hebron and Denton Ryan in District 5-5A that I'm sure folks will be interested in getting an update on. And we'll take a look at that score and others when we come back right after this.
At Frost, we could talk to you about our 24/7 online banking. Or we could talk about our more than 1,100 ATMs across Texas. We can even talk to you about our mobile banking app that lets you pay bills, transfer funds, and deposit checks from anywhere. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we enjoy more than to just talk to you.
Thank you for calling Frost. How may I help you?
We're here with the technology and convenience you want and the service you deserve. Frost. Banking, investments, insurance.
At J. Macklin's Grill, you'll perfect the art of unwinding in a space that's warm and welcoming, with food that's fun and satisfying. Whether you are inside enjoying the mellow ambiance or outside people watching from the patio, J. Macklin's Grill is sure to provide an unparalleled casual dining experience, which is why they were voted best in Coppell. Stop by J. Macklin's Grill after the game and listen to live music on the patio Friday and Saturday nights. J. Macklin's Grill, chef-inspired, reservations not required. On the web at jmacklinsgrill.com.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts, Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Jason's Deli postgame show. Buddy Eccles Field on this chilly, breezy homecoming evening. Coppell defeats Flower Mound 45-3 to move to 5-1 on the year and 2-0 in district play. Well, not the only game in the district, not in the Metroplex. Lots of action tonight. And here's Barry to update with scores from around the Metroplex.
Well, Jason, earlier we told you of a tight one in 3-5A between Arlington Martin and North Crowley. It was 10-8 in the second quarter. Arlington Martin blew it open in the second half. It is now 45-8 in the fourth. Some other games from 3-5A in the fourth quarter. Arlington leads Sam Houston 41-17. Arlington Bowie has jumped way out in front 48-10 now the score. They're late in the fourth quarter. Bowie Volunteers up. And moving on along to 4-5A with Keller, and that's Arlington Bowie, by the way, leading Arlington Lamar. Keller, Timber Creek, and Richland tied in the fourth at 24. South Lake Carroll bombing Northwest 63-21 in the fourth quarter. Keller Fossil Ridge trailing Keller Central 13-7 in the fourth quarter of play. Hebron has stretched out the lead against Denton Ryan. It is now 31-10 in the fourth. This in 5-5A, the Battle of the Axe. Flower Mound Marcus trying to hold off Louisville at Goldsmith Stadium. It's 7-6 late in the game. R.L. Turner losing big to Grapevine, 51-21 in the fourth. This from 6-5A. Irving Nimitz leads Irving MacArthur, 31-14 in the fourth quarter of play. Mansfield Timberview doubling up South Grand Prairie late in the game, 14-7. Mansfield is beating Duncanville 35-17 in the fourth. DeSoto, big over Midlothian now 49-28 in the fourth. And Grand Prairie demolished by Cedar Hill tonight. That's a final 57-6 in that. Moving over to 9-5A, Lake Highlands gets waxed at home at Wildcat Ram Stadium. 48-20 the final. Richardson ahead of W.T. White Lake 47-14. Richardson Pierce has stretched out their 10-6 lead. It was right before halftime to 31-6 over Bertner in the fourth. And Skyline whitewashes Sunset tonight 60-0. In 10-5A, it's Plano East narrowly over McKinney 28-23 in the fourth. McKinney Boyd ahead of Plano 24-23. And Allen creaming Plano West 77-23. That also in the fourth. Comes back to beat Garland. They trailed 10-3 before halftime, but Saxe comes back to win 24-10 in that contest tonight and remain unbeaten, moving their record up to a perfect 7-0. Some other action from 10-5A and 11-5A. If we can get it to reload here momentarily.
It's amazing some of those point totals that some of those teams put on their opponents tonight.
Yeah, Rowlett over South Garland, that was 26-10. That's a final now. Longview, big on Mesquite Horn, 49-30 in the fourth quarter. Mesquite over North Mesquite in a barn burner at Memorial tonight, 34-33, the final in that game. Rockwall leading my Robert E. Lee Red Raiders in Tyler 40-26 in the fourth quarter. Denton Geyer blast Lake Dallas tonight. This is moving down to the 4A classification in 5-4A. 66-3 the final. Birdville nearby blows away Saginaw 46-3. The Colony beats Prosper tonight 28-21. Frisco takes down Frisco Liberty 34-7. And 10-4A, the Terrell Tigers, who are the laughing stock quite often, have a 28-21 lead over Forney in the fourth quarter. But Forney, the Jackrabbits driving, they are in the red zone. North Forney beats Carrollton Newman Smith tonight 37-34. Mesquite Poteet big over Carrollton Creeview 40-10 in the fourth. And in 13-4A, Wiley with a 38-24 lead late over McKinney North. And Lovejoy and Denison may be heading to overtime. They are tied at 42 late in the fourth. And that's a lot of your scores from around the area tonight, Jason. Whole lot of action going on.
All right, thanks for the update here on the Jason Stelly postgame show. And once again, our final score in our ball game here tonight, it was 45-3, Coppell big over Flower Mound. So next week, it's going to be on the road for these Cowboys. They're going to take on Marcus for the first time on the road in about a month when we get to game time. And no reason for them to change the formula of success. Run the ball and throw it when you need to change things up, and use your stout defense to lock things up on that side of the ball. And it's a great formula for this team to win.
Yeah, and it, ground bound it is, and you kind of get the feeling maybe they were just throwing it in the air just for some practice because they didn't really need to do anything but run. If they wanted to, Jason, I think Coppell could have just kept it on the ground for the whole game and shortened this game and time-wise and yardage-wise and that kind of thing, but and number of plays-wise. But they did balance it, and it was just a thorough, great effort by everyone on offense and as well on defense. Flower Mound had a couple of good drives to start. Those got bogged down with a fumble. They did get a 42-yard field goal, which they could have had a first down if they hadn't kind of messed up a play there too. But when the second half started, you kind of, how is Flower Mound going to respond? And, Coppell just smashed mouth, put it to him, 10-yard carry, 10-yard carry, 12-yard carry, and Flower Mound couldn't bite back. They couldn't fight back. And not to say they're not strong-willed, but I think they're really worn down already, Jason.
I think you're right. And it's the second straight week where we've really seen them control time of possession on the ground against another team, just physically imposing their will. And after a while, you get in the second halves, they're going to get tired, and it's going to lead to even bigger runs. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining us on our Jason's Deli post-game show. Thanks for joining us for the broadcast here this evening. Once again, it's Coppell 45 and Flower Mound 3. And we'll talk to you next week from Marcus, the site of the next district ball game for Coppell. It's going to be the Cowboys taking on Marcus next Friday night. So thanks again, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend. Once again, your final score, it's Coppell 45, Flower Mound 3. You're listening to Cowboys football on Champion Sports Radio.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.